pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone.
Gene.
Okay, first thing we have on the agenda is the approved agenda, and we will have an amendment to the agenda for the approval of the paving plans for 2018.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda with that addition.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and second to approve the agenda with the amendment. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary? Motion carried. Next you have is the approval of the minutes.
I didn't see any corrections needed to be made. I thought they read well. I would make a motion to approve the minutes.
Concur with that, and I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary? Motion carried. Okay, Dave Paulson.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, David. How are you this fine day?
I'm pretty good, by golly.
You're looking especially spry this morning.
Oh,
I like your blue striped shirt.
yeah, my wife made me buy it.
Did she?
Or she bought it for you.
Yeah, and it was on sale.
I can imagine that.
Okay, first thing you have is drains.
Oh, boy, 3 drains. It's in the order I've got them piled in here. Drain 97, Dale McDonald called on the phone, about 15 and 16 Richland Township, not draining or a wet spot in the field. I think I've got 3 maps here to where it shows the wet spot here, wet spot there, and where it is on the plat map in relationship. He thinks, and I agree with him, that he's had Pimble out there as his tiler. Pimble thinks there might be something going on. We've got a 10-inch tile that runs up the road ditch, and either there's something going on in his field or underneath the road. It seems to be close to the road where the problem is, and he suggested, McDonald did, that we have Pimble jet it, dig it up, his brown tile, jet it, see if we get across the road into that tile, and then we should be able to discern where the problem is, if it's our problem or their problem.
Seen your recent utility work there?
Don't think so.
Okay. That would be the next guess. It's in the road ditch problem, maybe.
Had a few problems south of there over the last few years, but nothing with that 10-inch tile. I almost missed that tile looking on our county maps, 'cause it's the same color as the road right away, and I had that layer turned on.
So actually, the drain doesn't go into his field then?
No. But either way, it's,
But he's got tile hooking up.
he's
to it.
got tile hooking up to it. It's kind of one of them tough ones.
Mhm.
We may not know whether it's the drain or not until they do the exploration, but if they do it, it could be the road crossing, which would not be the drain either. That would be the county roads department, because even when drains, the county's responsible right-of-way line.
So on the other side of the road is the drainage district starts in.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of going one way in there. It's on both sides of the road, the drainage district is. But we're assuming that's where it's plumbed out.
So we've got the drainage district, secondary roads, and a private individual.
Yeah.
Nobody knows where the problem is located.
Toss up, yeah, just whose problem it is. We could probably go out there today and find this tile and run our locator through it and maybe find out. But maybe it's best in the hands of somebody private, because if it is their problem, fix
with
it
it.
right then.
Mhm.
Oh, these are never real clear cut. See, there's where that 10-inch tile is right there, comes out of there and hooks into there.
Okay.
So, kidney ground is what it is, that
Mhm.
ground both sides of the road, so I'm assuming that McDonald is a renter. I don't know him, do you, anybody know him?
They live over by Scranton.
Uh-huh. You wanna do these in a batch? I got 3 of them.
Yep, doing a batch.
Um,
We'll save it.
The next one's maybe a little bit simpler. Reggie Rohrbeck called to report holes in drain 28 and section 29 of Glidden. He will flag it. It's up by the
28
railroad
where
tracks,
at?
just
Is it
Drain
drain,
what?
drain number
drain
28?
28, section 29 of Glidden. It's just right outside of the town of Glidden. There's a pretty good path in there, so there's
What's the problem there?
holes.
Hole?
Probably a 15-inch tile there.
That's the one that goes out southwest of Glidden, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those could be where
Seems like
15
we're
and
always
28
working at
come
it there.
together.
That drains down into where that box culvert.
It does, yeah.
Mhm.
Boy, I went by there the other day, that west tile line, there's a pretty good stream coming out of that one.
There is, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't figure that, there's gotta be another tile that we don't know about tied into that.
Mm-hmm.
Still running?
Yeah, oh, it's, I bet that tile was a third of the way full.
Yeah. That sure looks nice, that precast box that they did, and poured that wall in the end.
Turned out good.
That turned out just a whole lot better than what I thought it would. I was really tickled. That Steve Richard is really.
Did a good job.
Excellent contractor.
So you just have to do some repairs here.
Dig it up and see where it's, I'm guessing there's a hole in that tile sucking it in.
Yeah, either hole in the tile or a seam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of pressure goes through that one. And the third one I've got, I'm gonna meet with the landowner on, probably sometime this morning. He thinks there's about right around 100 foot of tile that needs to be replaced that's shallow and broken in drain 66,
Can't do it.
south part of.
I'll approve that one.
Too
I
close.
don't think we've had a drain 66.
If you've never paid more in drainage tax than property tax, you'll.
This is in section 23 of Richland.
What do you take an acre for right now?
This could be the prize-winning drain of attention.
It is.
Of the decade, I think.
You guys are enjoying it way too much.
Do you just create
Sorry,
problems
Neil.
there for a reason, Dave?
You wanna see where it is, Neil? So
Yeah, we-
it's nowhere near your ground. Well, it's closer than normal.
So there's 100 feet needs to be replaced.
Wow. Yeah, that's an estimate right at the point.
What section number was that?
Richland 23.
I got with that, two out of the same township.
Same township, but two different drains.
Yeah, they're kinda close to one another.
Unbelievable.
You sure you wanna get into that neighborhood?
At least it's maybe pleasant over there.
Yeah, you better watch it.
Go for a bus ride.
You might be under the bus.
There's one thing after another over there, isn't it?
It is, and I think those are probably a couple of the most popular grains over there, but yeah.
Is it a pretty large drain, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that 66 actually has a north part and a south part. Probably someday it should be divided up into,
Two separate
and
drains.
reclassified and separated into different sections, like we've got drain 1 and 2, maybe 4 or 5 sections, 'cause
Mhm.
If I remember, that's pretty costly to reclassify, isn't
it
it?
is, yeah. Yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow.
But if
I mean, it
we
promotes
did that-
fairness.
Didn't we do that about 10 years ago with one
102.
By the
One
airport?
oh two.
102, yeah.
Yeah, now that's 5 sections or 5 parts of the drain instead of just one big part. It needed to be reclassified. We did some work on it at the same
If I
time.
remember right, that was like 15,000 to do that?
That could have been, I remember it's
Yeah.
better than mine.
No, I
I can't
wouldn't say
even
that.
remember to put something on for the agenda, so.
If there's no questions, I'd approve the 3 drains.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 3 drain repairs.
What do we do?
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pay me now or pay me later.
That's right.
I feel your pain.
Motion carried, John. Okay, Dave.
Now we've got these asphalt resurfacing plans. I think I'll just keep confusion to a minimum. Hopefully there's certain attention here and not dally on too long. The first one is the road to Litterdale, N38 from Highway 30 up to that junction of E26 in Litterdale. So it's kind of stopping right in the middle of town, right by where the old country store was. We're going to be putting 3 inches of new asphalt on top of what's existing there and widening the shoulders 4 feet on each side, much like we did down south. Probably be in the end about a 3.5 foot widening overall on each side. The cost estimate on that is $1,187,000. Of that, we'll be getting $600,000 in federal aid from Region 12.
How much?
600,000.
600.
So the remaining cost will come out of our farm to market account, which is the account in Ames, which we get roughly $1 million a year in. There's also a couple other things we're doing. The intersection with Highway 30, we're gonna reconstruct that, remove the existing asphalt and put in new full-depth asphalt, because it's a little thin in areas there. We core drilled it. And then there's a bridge about 2 miles up, over Green 23. And that's all broken up at both ends, so we're gonna remove the asphalt out of each end of it and replace it and then overlay into it. It's just, it's about the only fix it for that. So there'll be some extra cost that's figured in there for this.
That's part of the Litterdale project.
The next one, these two, there's 3 projects, they're all tied together. They've all got different portions of funding. Is the Brea Road, E16. That was last done in 1990. The Litterdale Road was last done in 1987, so it's got 30 years on it since it's had anything done to it. And this one's just kind of slightly behind it with 27, 28 years since there's anything been done to it. Roughly a 5-mile project going from Highway 71 into the stop sign at Breda. It's getting widened, the shoulder widening 3 foot on each side, but it's already 2 foot wider than the Litterdale Road, so we'll have a standard width there. Roughly a 30 foot top, 29 foot probably when we get done. So this road's got a cost estimate of $1,408,000.
Say that again.
$1,408,000 in round numbers, and we'll be receiving $700,000 from Region 12 in federal aid, and the remainder will be out of our farm to market account. So
And that first one was out of the local or farm to market?
the first one was out of the farm to market and federal aid, so
Okay.
both the Litterdale Road and the Breeda Road have similar funding. They've got a federal aid component, which federalizes it, as we tend to say, which makes for more paperwork.
And you get about $1 million a year from,
We get $1 million a year in our farm to market account.
from the farm to market, and you're spending more than $1 million this year in the
Yes.
farm, just a little more.
We can borrow ahead on the farm to market. Legally, we can borrow ahead up to 5 years, but they're restricting our borrowing up to 3 years.
Okay.
Right now. This in the end, paying for these two projects out of the farm to market and the federal aid with that reimbursement will be roughly 1.9 years in the hole in February at the time of the letting, so we won't be too bad in the hole.
Just about halfway what they allow,
Yeah.
just a little over half.
Yeah.
You said this also gets a 3-inch overlay, right?
This gets 3-inch overlay. Same cross-section except the.
Just 1 foot shorter.
1 foot shorter, yeah. 3 foot shoulder widening instead of 4 foot shoulder widening, but in the end, they'll both have a roughly a 30-foot top, which will be good. We're also redoing the intersection on that Breeder Road with Highway 71. And that's kind of broken up, and, so there'll be some extra expense.
Bigger radius there probably.
Radiuses, and I think we're taking the land out, we'll probably could put a stop sign in a barrel like they've got on most of that. That's kind of a modern thing, so it should make it a little easier to go along with.
Is this going to be one that we could try rumble strip in the center?
You
For
jumped in.
safety.
I was gonna ask him that too.
We could.
And
We could-
I guess I'm two parts to this, and that stop sign, could we consider a solar sign there at the end with the flashing red light on?
We could, yeah.
I mean, to help safety there in that corner?
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about putting one in Breeda, at that one corner
Mhm.
there. We might be starting something, that's the only thing. If we do-
I know, I just, the accident level there, what is that accident rate there at that intersection?
You know, I haven't looked that up, but I've got a slick program to look at that.
I mean, if I'd look at that versus all the intersections between the US highway and us, is to see if that, there's a little confusion there with the corner station there that I could add to it, but I don't know if it does, but
Yeah.
it certainly could.
Yeah, we're starting to see more of those flashing signs.
Yeah.
And
They're
we do
so
have that
easy to
light,
see.
to the west of Breeda, at the Wheatland Church corner, the one that hangs across the intersection, that probably would be good to be replaced with
Same,
one of those
similar.
sort of lights, yeah. But that's the only place we've got, right?
They don't pay attention to that neither.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, I've seen them fly through that.
They go right through that one.
They hit that pretty hard. I
Yeah.
guess
Dave,
I've
the reason, Rich kinda jumped me ahead, I was gonna bring it up when you got done here on that rumble strips, cause when we had our county roundtable meeting,
Uh-huh.
someone from up that area brought it up and was kinda adamant about it.
Center line rumble strips? or-
Center line and.
Actually, they're talking about full rumble strips on outside and in,
Uh-huh.
but I'm more inclined to the center one.
Yeah.
You know, with these new cars are picking up, use the paint for lane problems, you know, they have
Lane
like sensors.
verification.
There's a lot more of those on the road, which really helps also.
Yeah.
But, so maybe it wouldn't be a thing that we would have to do, is if the manufacturers keep adding those type of safety features, then we surely wouldn't have to look at doing that, but it was brought up and asked.
I don't know how, because they're doing them on roads that have got 5,000 to 6,000, 7,000 cars a day on. This road has got, it says it on the plans, from 1,200.
Yeah.
To right outside of the Breeda is about 1,900, so it's, for a secondary road, it's, it's
Pretty
pretty
high.
heavily traveled, it's not a low volume one. Low volume is considered to be around 400. Probably the drawback, they do quite a bit of material out, and I'm not sure if it's gonna deterioration issues with the asphalt in time.
Over time.
I don't think they're terribly expensive.
I talked to Paul Osman on Friday down at Hungry Canyons, and he's gonna get ahold of me and let me know what it'd run a mile to do the rumble strips, cause they're doing it on that Donna Reed Road south of
Uh-huh.
Denison. And I asked him, and he said he didn't know off the top of his head, but he said he could look it up and he's gonna
Yeah.
get in touch with me.
Yeah, I think the rumble in the center line is more important than on the edge, because you're preventing a more serious accident usually.
Yeah.
Head-on's always worse than a ditch.
Most ditches are designed to take an off-road accident.
And this is a pretty good road as far as having flat ditches,
Yeah.
and a wide right of way and whatnot.
And unfortunately, with the increase of texting, I think rumble strips are becoming more important than they had been in the past, just because
Sure.
of the distracted drivers we have out there.
Yeah. No, at the time, it's too late now to stick it in, but we could stick it in by extra work order.
It's just something to consider, I would think.
I guess
we should
I'd
consider
suggest
it.
you get a cost on, let us know.
Yeah, I probably the way would just be to go with the contractor and have him contact.
Yeah. And those-
I agree with this, the center line is probably the most bang for the buck that way, especially with this particular road.
But, and I agree with what Rich has said, that, you know, most of these vehicles anymore have got some sort of lane departure system on them. And they're even getting to the point now, it just doesn't even only beep at you, but you almost gotta fight the wheel to overcorrect it, that it'll keep you in there. A gentleman told me that I had that on my vehicle when I had my thing, probably went in the ditch.
Yeah.
Well, there's still, that's new technology and it's coming, but there's still quite a few older vehicles out there.
There's
that-
a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna own a Tesla where they drive themselves.
Yeah.
We've kind of got a different cross-section of traffic on ours too, if you look at the heavy implements of husbandry that run on there and run out there with that tire. And if that's gonna force them to go further out onto there, if they're gonna go over the edge of because some of those pretty well go center line to about that far out. Yeah, I don't know, it's all kind of new.
Yeah.
I've seen some that are, the standards that we've got around here are pretty aggressive. And I've seen some that aren't quite so aggressive, they still accomplish the same thing. And,
Well, and I see a lot of them like after some moisture, there's a lot of water sits in there. Won't that, as that road gets cracks in it, will that cause some problems with freezing?
That's what I don't.
Well, when it freezes, it's gonna go, it's gonna
It's gonna
expand.
heat.
It's gonna expand.
Yeah.
So it's probably gonna expand up. I don't think it's gonna,
No, I'm not talking there, but as roads get cracks in them, it gets underneath, starts lifting it.
We do have quite a bit of trouble with longitudinal cracking on the center line joint.
Mhm.
And I think it's due to the new mixes that we're using. They're harder, they're more brittle. The oil is less supple, I guess would be the way the old time oils used to be
Give and take,
softer, and there
yeah.
was more give and take. We didn't put quite so much crushed material in them, and we didn't have the problems with center line cracking, running straight down the center line, that joint. You notice it on some roads more than others.
Yeah, there's some that are really worse.
That could be a place for water intrusion. It's kind of speculation, I'm not sure what studies have been done on it and how many counties are doing it. But if there were a road to do it on, that Breeder Road would, it's a lengthy stretch and it's got a high volume of traffic.
It'd be a good one to study, I would think. It's got, like, yeah, you said, nice length to it.
Yeah.
And a
it's-
good amount of traffic. Probably gonna pick up some complaints from the motorcycle riders. That's quite an issue. Even in a small pickup, if you stay on the rumble strip very long, you can feel
Pulls you.
feel like you lose a little bit of traction in the back.
Mhm.
But that's if you're on a long stretch of it, trying to ease in or out rather than going out and coming right back.
Yeah.
Depends on your driving habits, I guess.
I think that's my complaint about it. You feel a little bit out of control.
Just
when
a
you
little
go
bit.
around there. They seem to be more aggressive than, I saw some down south when I went down aggressive, and you could hear them, and they did the job.
And maybe there's, yeah, maybe if during the research, you'll find that there's different styles of doing it too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's certainly somebody I've talked to that knows more about it than I do.
What happens when they fill with water and it freezes? Is that a traction issue there?
That I don't know,
I could see where if you had two wheels on there and they were all iced over, you'd,
Could be.
cause a traction issue that you would not have if they were
Yeah.
not there.
But it's also a great center line when there's light snow across the road and you can't see the center line. You can sure feel it when you're getting close to it. So it has its pluses and minuses.
Yeah, I really haven't paid that much attention how it is in the snow.
I like them when I was on the snow because then, like I said, you knew
could
where
feel
you're
it.
at.
Uh-huh.
You know you're releasing your lane.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess find some more information about it and give us
We
some
will have the
numbers.
rumble
and-
strips coming into the stop signs, you know, on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
roads.
Right.
We've got that. That's different though.
At the state and leave from there, you really don't stop anybody.
At any rate, I've got one last one, a little short one. That's, this one is the Cobb Pile Road, the portion outside the city of Carroll from the 3/4 mile line out or from the corporate limits out. Hopefully, we can work with them at the same time add on theirs, but they've got issues at the bridge to where they need to do a full depth reconstruction at that bridge. And do that.
Have you talked to them about it at all? Are they aware of it, or?
I have, yeah. It just, we got to the point to where we were kind of tardy and we wanted to make this letting. And we decided to tie this work along, and pay for this work locally along with this other work, just so we could get it done. Yeah.
What would be the cost for this project?
This one's gonna be pretty economical comparatively speaking. $117,000.
117,000?
Yeah.
And that's what, all local?
All local, yes. Local, let it Ames, local project, let it Ames. We don't often do that, tied with our farm to market, but considering, you know, we're gonna bring an asphalter in with all this tonnage, you know, we wouldn't wanna do a standalone local project if we could help it.
What is actually the name of that strip road?
It's 3rd Street and the 200th. It's 3rd Street in the city and it's 200th Street
200th
out
Street?
in the country.
Is that gonna be a 3-inch overlay then too,
That
Dave?
will be, yes.
You're gonna widen it too?
No widening, no. I think our traffic count on that's 460, you know, it leads to the Cobb Pile, it's got a gravel,
Mhm.
you know, it's not a real lightly traveled one, but,
The landfill probably creates more traffic than the Cobb Pile.
yeah, now it does, yeah.
Yeah, by far.
Do you have an established letting date for these projects?
Yes, to February 20th at Ames.
February 20th?
February 20th, yeah. That should be hopefully a pretty good time for a letting. You don't want to go real early, nor do you want to be real late. This is kind of middle of the road. Hopefully it'll be a good time to where not everybody's filled.
How many miles is that, Littledale 30?
That's 4. Breed is 5. And this local project on 200th Street's roughly 3/4.
About 10 miles total,
Yeah.
pretty close.
Okay. Anything else on that?
That's it.
Need a motion to approve the 2018 paving plans. That's what you're looking for, Dave?
Yeah.
I would make that motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried.
I don't know if you're gonna do a project numbers on that, maybe so, maybe I can just copy this from the page and see if you'll have the project numbers there, it's kind of duplicated. We need to do the signature thing.
Blue?
A couple.
Blue would be just fine, yeah. Scan them with color, they're actually starting to use color plans now. Color does make it easy to distinguish stuff.
So you need blue pen?
Somebody heisted my blue one.
I got blue.
I don't think we've got a requirement for blue anymore, but it does make it stand out kind of nice.
We want to make it look pretty.
You was using purple the other day.
I was using purple. I'm a little
Really?
colorblind, yeah.
Dave, last Tuesday, speaking on road issues, I talked with Harvey Dales on that shoulder on the
Uh-huh.
city of Manning. He doesn't know, he was gonna talk to Don Roy, the city clerk, on that on the east side of the road by the airport there, that's in that wetland reserve with a
Mhm.
99-year lease. He doesn't know if we could do anything there, or how much of an easement there is, if we could widen that or not, but he's gonna do some more work and get back with me on it,
That sounds good, yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Good thing about
that,
that. Don't do that.
Dawn sent me an email, and I gave her a call, but I couldn't get a hold of her on Friday.
Contact.
We were rummaging around in the old files, looking for some stuff on box culverts. We've got to rate, we've got 15 box culverts, and we've got to rate all of those for load. For years, it's been that if they're concrete and hold the load, they're okay, but now we gotta rate them, so we're gonna have to hire a consultant to rate them. Something I don't understand, but I was looking for that. Anyway, I ran into the right-of-way file for the Manning Road, south of Manning, and they were paying $125 an acre. And but got all the plats and whatnot, so that was really great to run into that.
It's been a couple of years ago.
Yeah, 42, 41 and 42.
The other thing on Hungry Canyons, the other day, they had some discussion on the wetland mitigation for any road projects and the permitting process. It's gonna be a lot of red tape coming our way.
Good.
I'll give you some of the information sometime, I'll step out and drop it off, okay?
Hopefully, we don't have any wetlands out there other than that one. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not sure how we handle that end, but we do have 43-foot right-of-way there existing right now, so we could add a shoulder on with truck dirt
Mhm.
there.
It'd be interesting to see how the current crop line compares with the right-of-way line.
Yeah.
They could shrink.
I saw a right-of-way sign the other day, well, just outside of Carroll here, I bet there's 20 rows of corn on the inside of it.
That's a,
Well,
just
remember,
a
we were up by
suggestion.
Arcadia there?
It's just a
And they had
suggestion.
corn on both sides of the pole, the light, the
Yeah.
Utility
utility
pole.
pole.
It wasn't just the
That was,
sway.
that was a picture I took, I think I still have it, but, you know, they obviously put the pole in, they were redoing those lines, and they put the pole in after the crop was in. and
Maybe the
it was-
county should just invest in a combine, we'll just start harvesting it.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
I don't think I have anything else. This was more than I thought I'd have.
Did you get a chance to do anything with that Falcon Road on the intersection of 140 and Falcon? That drain that goes underneath that?
Oh, that one that you and I went up and looked at?
I don't think,
That culvert, the one that we
Yeah.
didn't see? No, I don't think we've done anything with that yet.
I think Paul and Dana,
Well, Darren looked at
Darren
it.
looked at,
I
yeah.
went up and looked at it, and it's, it does have to bubble up. I'm not sure what to do, because on this farmer's drain, it need to be cleaned out. They're on the west side of the road. They'd have to clean out their ditch to improve the outlet, 'cause it is still outletting. We do have others in similar shape.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to know what I have to tell my constituents.
If they plan to do some, probably if they clean their drain out, our culvert would probably clean itself out. Partially anyway, but boy, they really have to deepen that.
But that drain on the west, the culvert's almost plugged.
Yeah,
Is that because of their problem?
that's because their drain is, the siltation has filled up and just gotten higher and
Okay.
higher in the flow. The drain's
Gotcha.
gotten higher and
All
higher
right.
over the years. So the only way to relieve that would be to dig the culvert up, which probably, if it got to the point where it was completely plugged and that continued, we would raise it up, dig it up and
Okay.
raise it up.
All right. All right,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Okay.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Good week.
Okay, next we have is approval of plats. We have two of them here, one for Martin Halber and one for Troutman Family Farms. Martin Halber, what is in section 4 of Pleasant Valley Township, and Troutman Family Farms is for section 36 of Newton. The one in Newton is just a property line change. And I assume it's, what's this other one for?
The Pleasant Valley Forward, there's a new house going there next
Yeah, it
spring.
looked like a new
They're
house.
putting an acreage up on the corner there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that for?
Rick Whitrock's daughter from there. They're building a new house there next spring.
I'll move to approve both plats there, all look fine.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the plats. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Contrary, motion carried. Next we have is the vote for 2017 FSA Committee official ballot, and I think you got it there, Neil, right? Or she's
No,
got
that's
it?
just a reminder.
Yeah.
You should,
She's
I don't know
got
what
it.
the ballot, but I'll move that we cast our ballot for Tim Snyder.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to cast our ballot for Tim Snyder. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 So let's just check it here.
Yeah. You gotta sign
Yeah,
it.
this is a reminder that it has to be in by December 4th, so we'll have that well taken care of.
I guess that would be required, but it sounds to me like it's spent a lot of money to do that.
Okay, next we have, I guess, being today 10:30, yep. We'll do manure management updates. We have one for Kevin Baumhover, section 10 of Maple River Township. They've added acres. Spore Farms, Gary and Dave Spore, section 26 of Eden. There's no changes. Daniel Potroff, section 26 of Jasper Township, no changes. Okay, we'll go to committee reports. Marty, you want to start?
Yeah, I can start off. Last Monday evening, had the Wesco board meeting. First item on the agenda there was our Christmas bonus and wage increase. And basically, that's gonna go out to the employees of Wesco. They're looking at doing like a $50,000 bonus there and to spend down some of our funds because of the mental health issues or the increases in the rates there. Then after that, we talked a little bit about the wage increases. And we're gonna do about $155,000 in wage increases for 2018. And basically, we do, in lieu of the unions, about 110,000 of that will go to line staff, but that won't take place till after February because of union negotiations and then the management, they'll do them at the same time. And it affects about 73 people is what that increase goes to. And we talked about our Christmas meeting, we're gonna have that at the Hollywood Bake Shop uptown for our December meeting. And then on Tuesday, had the, and also, we had the audit for, I guess going back to Wesco. John Morrow was there and gave us a overview on the audit. And I'll pass that around, everything looks pretty positive there. As far as, the big thing there was the transition house, that's a separate entity, so that was added into our audit also this year. And then going to Tuesday, we go to the landfill. We also had an audit done there, or the presentation for our audit. Bob Gilbauer from Olson Gilbauer was there and kind of gave us an overview of what's coming. And we will make final approval on that in January, when we bring in our cities and for our annual meeting. I'll pass a copy of that audit around also, pass that one that way. And, like I said, that's just the draft, we'll do the final in January. And then also, we discussed the farm rent for 2018. Basically, we got two landowners there, one is having some financial issues, so we just rented it out to one entity for this coming year. We set the rate at $250 an acre for the rent. And the reason we stuck with that was this year's rate, and we felt with the market prices and everything, and some of the things if we need to do anything at the landfill as far as if there's any crop damage or anything, they always work with us on that, so we just kept it a little cheaper there. Talked about the single stream study. We got a meeting coming up in January on that, and we're gonna discuss that again. And then we talked a little bit about the recycling with the cardboard. We're having a hard time getting rid of a lot of the recyclables. A lot of the cardboard and stuff was going to China, and they've basically clamped down on that, and so we're having troubles there. Cardboard at this point is worth $102 a ton. It used to be about $180 a ton, so it's a pretty significant drop there over the last 60 days. Okay, then.
How many acres are out there, Marty?
There's, I think that's 83, 32, there'd be about 115 acres.
Okay.
Is what's there. The one landowner had 83 and the other landowner had 32.
Who's the operator gonna be this year?
Jesse Baumo is gonna be the operator for 2018. Okay, then on Wednesday, went to Region 12 to sign checks. And then on Thursday, had a call on Drain 102. We've got an issue with beaver on that. I talked with the person that's trapped that the last couple of years, and we got that taken care of. I talked to Dave a little bit on that. So we've got somebody trapping that. So we'll have to deal with that issue when they get done catching beaver out of that. And then on Friday, went down to Hungry Canyons down in Avoca. It was kind of interesting. I was talking a little bit with Dave when he was here about, we had Al Froelich from the Army Corps of Engineer. He kind of gave us an update of when we need to get permits when we're dealing with road construction issues with wetlands and waters of the state. And I'll just pass this around. That's kind of the Bible of when you need to get permits. There's basically typically three types of permits. There's national permits, there's regional permits, and local permits. And it's all explained in that draft, or in that copy of when you need to get the permits for those three different permit processes. So it's a little bit different for each one. And then after he got done, then Claire Harubi from DNR gave us an overview of the wetland mitigation. And basically, there's gonna be a lot of red tape whenever we have wetland mitigation projects on road projects. She kind of went through a process where you have to fill out, it's about a 3-page report just to get the permits for wetland mitigation. She explained all the process there. And then after that, we approved 8 projects. And the 8 projects were approved. 2 of them were in Page County, 3 in Guthrie County, and 3 in Montgomery County. And the total of all those projects amounted to about $776,000 for projects to do stream bank stabilization. The more expensive projects were down in Page County on the Tarkio River, and it's basically the last stop before you get into Missouri. But the stream size down there and some of the issues that are going on. The 2 projects that we approved are old projects that were done back in the 1940s, and they're basically doing grouted riprap on both of those and improving those. They basically failed back in the floods back about 3 or 4 years ago. So those were the 2 most expensive ones. For those 2 projects, it was about $400,000. So that's it for Hungry Canyons. Do you have any questions or any comments regarding any of the committee reports?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You said about the bonuses for the Wesco.
Yep.
Explain that when there's only, the audit only shows like 10,000 profit.
Basically, but the rates coming out for this coming year is what Clay is basing this off. The rates there's gonna be some increases and there's gonna be some decreases. So basically to make that all work out, if we don't spend that money, then it goes back to the state. And so that's the reason he's doing the salary, and we've been doing this for 2 years. And the thing that we've discussed, and we had a lot of discussion over it, is that we don't wanna get.
Sorry.
We don't wanna get caught where we do too much in salary increases, that if we lose that funding, that we're caught short. So this is kind of a slimmed down measure of it. But basically, they've got all the housing with Camelot, they've got like 14 different housing developments, and then they've got the transition houses in Vale also. It's creating a pretty good stream of revenue.
Okay, well, I was just kinda curious, because
Yeah.
that showed like the audit did.
Yeah, but there's gonna be a bunch of rate changes, and they were gonna find out, I haven't talked to him since Friday, but Friday, they were supposed to find out what all those rate increases were gonna be, definitely. So,
Okay, any other questions from Marty?
you can give those to Emily, because or that one can be, this one's not a final.
Neil?
Courtney, put that in the
Sure.
file.
All right, as far as meetings last week, most of us were at the employee handbook meeting where we had all the department heads here, and Renee's on working, and I thought it was a very productive meeting. We narrowed down a lot of things and determined a lot of directions we want to go to do. I think one of the unanswered questions that we need to talk about as Board of Supervisors is the idea of allowing cash payment for accumulated sick leave. That's something we're gonna have a discussion about at some point. And most of you were there, so I don't need me giving great detail on that one. Also, I attended, actually, I just caught the very end of the Carroll Coalition meeting because the employee handbook meeting took up part of that time. Cindy Durkoff had the program there, and she was discussing the various programs that she works with. Then I also had a local planning group meeting on Wednesday with Molly Scott. Basically, all the funding for FY18 has been allocated out. We've received first quarter reports from all the participants, and they were all timely received. As far as community needs, the one need that was shared that they seem to have biggest need for is mental health care for children. It's really hard to find support and services for the children. Also this week, I signed the checks at RSVP and foster grandparent. And this week, along with Jean, we meet with a couple of our entities, Shive Hattery and Prohaska, concerning their proposal to do our jail study. We're going to interview them and try to make a decision on who to hire for that. So if any of you have any questions that you want asked, the meeting is today with each of these, and Jean and I will be there to pass those questions on to either Jean or I.
Okay. Any questions for Neil? Dean?
I had, last week I had the Conservation Board meeting that was canceled. They didn't have a quorum, so they just pushed everything into next month. And I thought I had the agenda, but I don't have electronic copy, so can't give you that. I think the only discussion that they really needed to cover was the some discussion about the property and the rent, some rent issues. So, and I went to the employee handbook meeting. I thought that was very good to have everybody here and have a good open discussion about that. I thought that some of the issues got addressed, and it's moving along pretty well as far as I'm concerned. This week I've got I'll be meeting with the fire departments at their monthly meeting in Glidden to discuss Region 5 hazmat. I'm not going to say their issues. I just want to field some questions about, you know, how they feel about services that Region 5, mostly training. See how that's going, and see if they're getting all the information and all the training that we're paying for. I guess that's what,
Kevin, Danner be at that meeting?
pardon me?
Will Danner be at that meeting? Thanks, Kevin, is that?
I don't know if he will be or not.
Yeah.
I think that Sarah's gonna be there, Sarah Anderson
Okay.
will be there. She is my alternate, so.
Yeah, I just, because he goes to a lot of those meetings as a West Central employee yet. He did, is that correct? Does he still do that?
Yes, he does. He attends all of them.
He might, I'm not sure if he's a member of the fire department, but he
He
lives.
he used to be.
He used to be anyhow, he may still.
Well, and I can contact him
He'd
today.
be great, he'd be
Yeah.
a good resource to have with you, I think.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
That's the reason I brought his name up.
Sure, I'll contact him today and see if he can't make it. Tomorrow night I have a Board of Health meeting. I think that's it at this point in time, so.
Any questions for Dean? All right, Rich?
On Monday, after their meeting here, we had a little sit down with some of the department heads and listened to their concerns about space, and I thought that was very productive. Tuesday, we had an ambulance board meeting. During that meeting, we discussed the vehicle maintenance, and that seems to be, the DEF problem seems to maybe have got itself fixed. So that might not be, we had some other ongoing issues, but the vehicles were a pretty good topic of conversation. We've also had some security break-ins of personal cars down there. That's been talked over with the city PD, and they will be addressing that. There's talked over the employee openings that we have with Lori leaving at the first part of December. We also welcomed in our new administrator there, and he's got a couple ideas. He's gonna start putting together some things and try to get some people. Ran an ad, and there was a competing ad at the same time that Gene had been running, and we weren't sure if the applications were being all filed in one spot and not the other, so he was gonna come up and try to get that sorted out, file which one was filing for which job. So he'll be going through those, and hopefully get a handle on that in the very near future. Everything seems to be going pretty good. Can't say there's anything bad there. There was a radio issue about some missing radios, and that's being looked into also, and seeing where those are at. And then on Wednesday, we did the handbook. I agree with Nick, that was a topic that I was gonna bring up. The other topic I was gonna bring up in it is our payroll situation, and that's been on the audit report, evidently, as I understand, for quite a few times, and maybe it's time to quit kicking that can down the road and also approach that one too. Maybe kind of standardize our reporting for payroll and our payroll. That might be something we need to discuss. This week, I don't believe I have anything in front of me this week, so this will be a kind of a quiet week.
Okay, any questions for Rich?
Are they going to hire a billing person?
He's-
Or are they going to,
Their board is looking forward to hiring a person.
okay, so they're not gonna.
That's the position.
Look out outside or sourcing at all?
Not at this time, unless they can't get a qualified applicant. That's the gist I've got out of that. Also, one thing I wanted to also cover there too was the workman's comp issue that we've been kind of going back and forth. We do have that solved now, and I will address Joanne Monday with another week's worth of keeping a couple, 3 people on the workman's comp. It's probably not gonna hurt anything, so probably with your office being kind of slow this week, well, not slow, but fast, but with not many people, and a short week, probably just wait till Monday, and Joanne can kind of start, her and Terry can kind of start addressing that, trimming that down.
So what did you come up with? You said that it's been resolved?
It's been resolved. The city of Breda's gonna pick it up just like they were before. They were not happy about it. They have a lot of concerns about liabilities of their people being moved here for on-call, or we bring them in here to be third shift, or, you know, where they're being dispatched from. They have a lot of issues with that. They also had issues with local fire department. They were not paged, but they stopped to help because then and someone hurts themselves, where is their liability? They have a lot of these concerns, and I referred them to, they need to contact Terry and work that out with him. He's the one that can tell you exactly what's covered, what's not covered. I can't tell you that, but they seem to be pretty happy, and they're going to just start paying like they were before. With regrets, but they're going to do it.
Yeah, I heard plenty about it.
That's the gist.
And, yeah, they're not happy, but one of the things that did come to, came in the discussion was, and this happens to be with all of our satellite, whether it's Coon Rapids or Manning, is who's carrying the liability on those drivers?
As I was informed by Terry, if they crawl into our vehicle, our liability insurance covers them.
Okay.
It's the same.
I just wanted a clarification on that.
Yes, and that's why I asked that very same question. It's the same as, if I borrow your vehicle, your liability would cover because you had granted that. So, and that's essentially what we're doing. We're allowing them to use our vehicle, so it would be our liability insurance. Malpractice insurance was another big question for them, where that fit in. And they will be covered for malpractice, so.
And that's covered, picked up by the county.
Correct.
Any other questions? Okay. Last week, we had our board meeting here, and I also decided with the space and needs, and that, we'll be looking forward to do some more work on that. Then, right immediately after every one of you walked out the door, I got a letter from Arcadia in regard to a TIF meeting that was Monday night at 5 o'clock. So I did attend that, and what they are doing is they're gonna renew their, they've got some TIF area there that's gonna retire, and they've got the debt paid off, and they're gonna renew that TIF, actually start a new one in that same area, for future use of a water tower that they're planning on working on that. And they're gonna use engineering fees as far as their debt this first year. So they will be starting with a new baseline 2016. So all the taxes that are up to this point will get split up amongst all the entities, so they actually kind of like starting all over new. This was just an information meeting, and it was Rick Hunzinger, the mayor, the clerk, and myself that was there. And it looks like a win-win thing. They've got the debt retired, and like I say, they start with a new baseline 2016. So I did go up and attend that, and
I have a question.
yeah.
On the TIF area that has been paid, when the new TIF area begins, does the valuations be brought up to here, or do they stay back to the original?
That's what I said, we start 2016 baseline.
They start at 2016. All right, very good.
Yeah. And then on Tuesday, I went and attended the Carroll Brewery open house. And then on Wednesday, was up here for the employee handbook meeting, and I think that's been discussed, what we need to follow up on that. And then on Wednesday evening at 4 o'clock, I did the leadership class at the Carroll Chamber, or Carroll City Council minutes, meeting room. And then on Thursday, I had we did a tour of new opportunities for 2 new directors that are coming on board there. And then on Friday was up at the Yes Center, and it's kind of a pretty well, not too much of a meeting. We did have a closed session in regard to some union things. There's some centers are trying to get their people changed to a protected class. We don't want to do that because of insurance purposes. And then we went through operations. counts have been low here lately. Average 4 for this last month. We had no BIA kids in October because end of the federal budget season, there was no money, so they don't put any of their Indians in the jail. So we look like for that to pick up after the first of the year. But everything's been going really well.
Doesn't the federal budget go with October 1st?
Well, I think, yeah, but they're on the end of their season, and they're probably getting short of money.
Okay.
So they didn't have any. So, and we actually did two months' worth there that, because we didn't have a meeting count of harvest a month ago, so. But everything's looking good. Director was looking a little better than what she probably was 3 weeks ago, because she evidently had a bad accident, and she's got her shoulder in a harness. I would say she's probably lucky to be here. She went into the house, it's a long story, but she went back in the house, pulled the car in the garage, shut the garage door, let the car run. Went in, grabbed what she wanted, she come out of the garage, the walk-in door, caught her flip-flop on the door, flipped her on the floor. She broke shoulders, some ribs, her arm, dislocated her shoulder. And she was in so much pain that she passed out. But she came to and luckily couldn't get a phone to work and couldn't get to reach the phone because it's across the other seat, passenger seat of the car. Long story, but
The car was
she
running?
Finally
the
got up
garage.
and got the goddamn garage door open.
Thank goodness.
So,
That was the worst of her problems.
but she must have been in a lot of pain, so she was off work quite a while because she was on a lot of pain medication for pain. The other thing I was gonna bring up, did any of you get a email in regard to, because we have time here, requesting for School Choice Week in Carroll County?
About what?
School Choice Week in Carroll County. This comes from, it's just National School Choice. Yeah, National School Choice Week. And I'll pass this around to look at it. I don't know if we want to do anything. I think maybe we should do it if the school requests it. That's my opinion. Okay, I think what we'll do at this point, let's have a motion go and to recess until 10:30 or to our next person arrives.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Then moved and second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary, motion carried.